Time for the KSL In-Depth. Have you given the government your 2 cents yet? If not, you may have to instead give $70 the next time you visit Arches, Bryce, Canyonlands, or Zion. We've told you before how the National Park Service wants to hike entrance fees at 17 of the country's most popular parks during busy season. The public comment section was supposed to end tomorrow, but is being extended until late next month. And today, we learned attorneys general for 10 states and Washington, D.C. are telling the Park Service, ditch this plan. Our executive producer, Dave Cawley, is with me live now. So is Utah one of those 10 states?
No, which is interesting because 4 of those 17 parks are here in Utah. As you mentioned, Zion, Bryce, Canyonlands, Arches. And in fact, Utah has more of these parks in one state than anywhere else. California is next closest with 3. Washington has 2. Wyoming has 2. So you would think Utah would want to weigh in on this, but no, they are not part of this letter.
Did they miss the memo or something? Miss a meeting?
Great question. We reached out to the Utah Attorney General's office to find out, because when you hear that, wow, 10 states and D.C. sending this letter, did Utah not realize that it was happening or what? And the response we received was, yes, Utah was approached by these other states about signing on, but not sure that they want to sign this letter or maybe do their own thing.
So from that, do we get the idea that Utah is good with the $70 per car fee?
That's a great question. It doesn't sound that way. There's certainly some heartburn from, I think, people in state government here in Utah that worry that it's too much too fast without enough in the way of public process or even justification for the increase.
So these 10 attorneys general, why do they say that they're against the fee hike?
Right. So their take is essentially that the National Park Service hasn't done enough due diligence in showing where the money would go. And we know that the government says that they want to spend it on deferred maintenance, stuff that needs to be fixed up that hasn't been done. But they essentially say, these AGs, that really the government hasn't shown where it's going to spend it, which projects. It hasn't done enough outreach to the communities to see whether or not they would be able to handle the
I mean, really, the Park Service hasn't said much more than, oh, it's for crowd control.
Well, and this even specifically isn't for crowd control. And one of the points that these AGs bring up is essentially you could hurt yourself by making people not want to go to the parks and not pay. And in fact, you'll end up with less money because people will be steering away, or they'll be buying that $80 annual pass and not pitching in at $70 a pop the way you think they will.
It's all very interesting, and there's a month more to think about it because
Right.
the comment time runs through December 22nd.
Right, and presumably the state of Utah, the Attorney General, Sean Reyes here, will have something to say, just not as part of this letter today.
So where do you weigh in if you want to make a comment?
Right, so the National Park website, the Park Service website, has a link right there. You can go on, any one of us can go on and give your feedback. We know several, I think it was beyond 60,000 have already been submitted, but many more likely to come with this extension.
Great weather for hitting the parks
Right?
tomorrow, right?